Hello everybody, we've got an update to the Slayer developer blog from the Old School RuneScape team. So if you want to see the original developer blog, please click here. So we're starting off this developer blog with Boss Slayer. Boss Slayer is a very highly requested update to Slayer, and is the first feature they have to offer. They'd like to offer it as an unlockable task costing 200 Slayer points. Once unlocked, you can be assigned any of the monsters on the boss log, with the exception of the corporeal beast as a Slayer task. Unlike the previous proposed version of Boss Slayer, you'll be assigned a specific boss to kill. You will not be able to pick and choose which boss you kill when on an assignment. These tasks will be available from Neve and Jorodale, and as the experience rates at bosses will not be particularly great, upon completing a boss task you'll be rewarded with an additional 5,000 Slayer experience. So the question you'll be asking in the up and coming poll will be, should players be able to unlock the chance of getting boss monsters as Slayer assignments through the Slayer reward point shop? I think this is a really good idea. Before, I thought the idea of bosses as a task was nice, but I kind of preferred the fact that it's going to tell you which boss to kill. So I'm hoping that we won't be given too many of these to kill, and there'll just be something fun and alternative for us to do. Next, Cerberus, the Hellhound boss. Last year saw the release of the first Slayer bosses, Thermi and Kraken, and since then they've had no end of requests for more. Cerberus, the Hellhound boss, is the first new boss they'd like to offer us. Located in a new cavern, accessed from Tavli Dungeon, Cerberus is thought to guard an ancient gate leading to another plane, and with 3 heads it's certainly no pushover. You'll need 91 Slayer and either a Hellhound or Cerberus Slayer assignment to take on the demonic K9, but those strong enough to slay the beast may find themselves one of the new rewards. So let's have a look at Cerberus's drops. The signature drop they're offering is a new, best in slot boot, all 3 combat classes. However, rather than just dropping the boots, Cerberus will have a chance to drop one of the collars worn around its 3 heads. Embedded within each collar is a powerful crystal from which Cerberus draws its power. If you're lucky enough to find one of these crystals, you'll be able to use your magic and crafting skills to create 3 new boots. Each one of the crystals and new pairs of boots are tradable and do not degrade at all once created, but they cannot be reverted or broken down into their original components. So first of all, there's the Eternal Boots. They're created by infusing Infinity Boots with one of the as yet unnamed crystals. Eternal Boots provide a +8 magic attack, as well as a +5 stab, slash, crush, and range defense, and a +8 magic defense. Eternal Boots will require 75 defense and magic to wear. There's the Pegasian Boots, which are created by infusing Ranger Boots with one of the as yet unnamed crystals. Pegasian Boots provide a +12 range attack, -12 magic attack, and a +5 stab, slash, crush, and magic defense. Pegasian Boots require 75 defense and range to wear. And there's the Primordial Boots, created by infusing Dragon Boots with the final as yet unnamed crystal. Primordial Boots provide a +2 stab, slash, crush attack, -4 magic attack, -1 range attack, +22 stab, slash, and crush defense, and a +5 strength bonus. Primordial Boots will require 75 defense and strength to wear. Next there's the Smouldering Stone and Infernal Tools. Another new item they're offering is the Smouldering Stone. Dropped by Cerberus, and very rarely by standard Hellhounds, the Smouldering Stone can be attached to a Dragon Axe or Pickaxe to upgrade them. Requiring 61 woodcutting and 85 fire making to create, the Infernal Axe has a 1 in 3 chance to incinerate logs when chopping trees, providing fire making experience equal to 50% of burning the logs with a tinderbox. Over time, the stone will lose power, and the axe must be recharged with either another Smouldering Stone or Dragon Axe after burning 5,000 logs. Also, requiring 61 mining and 85 smithing to create, the Infernal Pickaxe has a 1 in 3 chance to incinerate ores when mined, which provides a small amount of smithing experience depending on the ores mined. The Infernal Pickaxe can even incinerate ores that you usually can't smelt, like granite, and will still provide some smithing experience. After incinerating 5,000 ores, the Infernal Pickaxe must be recharged with either another Smouldering Stone or Dragon Pickaxe. Both Infernal Tools are untradeable, and once created cannot be dismantled. Also there's the Hellpup pet. As with all of the bosses, Cerberus will have a very small chance of dropping a boss pet, a Hellhound pup. So the question you'll be asking will be, should they introduce Cerberus, the Hellhound Slayer boss as described in the developer blog? I think Cerberus would be quite a nice boss. I really like the idea of having a Hellhound boss. However, I'm thinking they're powerful and they kind of reminding me of RuneScape 3 items, so that's putting me off a little bit. Trying not to get that in the way, I think it'll be a really good boss for Old School. Next, the Abyssal Sire, the Abyssal Boss. The next Slayer boss on offer is the Abyssal Sire. a higher order of abyssal demon that possesses the power to manipulate tissue of both the living and dead to its will. Using this ability, the Abyssal Sire creates a bionexus from the remains of adventurers, rearranging their flesh into a living, subservient environment from which it feeds and flourishes. Once a nexus is established, a sire will often become bloated from its endless greed as it feeds continuously, but this does not mean it becomes any less lethal. When disturbed, a sire will become enraged that another dare to encroach upon its territory, and unleashes the full fury of the abyss upon its latest victim, before they too join its nexus for eternity. Requiring 85 Slayer and either an Abyssal Demon or Boss Slayer assignment to fight, an Abyssal Sire will prove a challenge for even the most experienced Slayers. Those fortunate enough to survive the fight may find themselves a new Abyssal Dagger and Abyssal Bludgeon. So, the Abyssal Dagger. One of the Abyssal Sire's signature drops, an Abyssal Dagger will require 70 attack to equip and will be a very useful stab alternative to the Zamorak Hasta. With a plus 75 stab attack and plus 70 strength bonuses, the dagger is slightly weaker than the Zamorak Hasta, but the Abyssal Dagger can use stab while training purely attack, strength, or defense. Next, the Abyssal Bludgeon. The Abyssal Bludgeon is a two-handed crush weapon dropped by the Abyssal Sire. It will require 70 attack and 70 strength to equip. With a high crush attack and same attack speed as an Abyssal Whip, the Abyssal Bludgeon will be the highest DPS crush weapon in Old School RuneScape. All attack styles of the Abyssal Bludgeon provide only strength and hit point experience. So, their special attack. The Abyssal Dagger and Abyssal Bludgeon share the same special attack. For 50% special attack energy, your next attack will have double accuracy, and whatever your next attack deals, it will also deal again as a bleed effect over the next 6 seconds. For example, if your special attack deals 20 damage, another 20 damage will be dealt passively as 5 hits of 4 over the next 6 seconds. So there'll be a few other rewards the Abyssal Sire will have. Abyssal Sires will also have a slim chance of dropping Abyssal Whips and Heads, as well as a low chance of dropping an Abyssal Minion boss pet. So the question they'll be asking in the up-and-coming poll will be, should they introduce the Abyssal Sire, the Abyssal Demon Slayer boss, as described in the developer blog? Now I quite like the idea of this boss, and he looks really cool. However, I'm a little unsure about these weapons it's dropping. To me, they sound very pure friendly, and in the past, we've proven that we're not too friendly to all the pures. The Abyssal Dagger will be a very good stab weapon, and won't require you to get defense experience when using it. Similarly, with the Abyssal Bludgeon, it will be the best crush weapon in the game, and won't give you defense or attack experience when using it. That makes a little bit of sense because it is a crush weapon, however with the Abyssal Dagger, I'm a little unsure. So, the below sections of the developer blog have not changed since the first versions of the developer blog, so I won't go into as much detail as I did before. But I would like to go over just the brief overview of them. So there's the Tsar tasks. They would like to offer Tsar tasks which can be unlocked for 100 Slayer points. You'll be given a chance of either killing the Tsar monsters in the Tsar city, or going in and completing the fight caves. When you opt to do the fight cave challenge, when you complete it, you'll receive a bonus 25,000 Slayer experience. Next, the Tuztok Jab Pet. To tie in with the Tsar tasks, they'll be offering Tuztok Jab Pet. Upon completing the fight cave, you'll have a slim chance of getting a Jad Pet upon defeating Jad himself. If you've got a Tsar Slayer task, your chance of receiving the pet will be double than that if you don't have the task. They'd also like to add an option where you can trade in your fire cape for a chance at receiving the Jad Pet, but the chances of getting the pet isn't changed when you do this. Next, the additional Slayer reward point purchases. With this Slayer update, they would like to give us more uses for our Slayer points. So they would like to offer more extended tasks. These will include Blood Velds, Aberrant Spectres, Aviences, Mithril Dragons, Cave Horrors, Dust Devils, Abyssal Wyverns, Gargoyles, Necrals, and Cave Krakens. These tasks could be purchased individually or as part of a new Mega Pack that unlocks all of the extensions for a small discount. They also want to offer us a Herb Sack. The Herb Sack will be an untradeable item purchased for 750 Slayer points. It will require 58 Herblore to use and would have a very useful ability to store 30 of each major grimy herb. It would have a left click fill option, and it would only have an empty option with the bank open, similar to how a looting bag works in the wilderness. Next, they want to offer us a Stronghold Slayer Cave expansion. So they've had a number of requests regarding Stronghold Slayer Cave expansions. So they're going to be adding some new additions to Slayer Cave. These will include Blue Dragons, Red Dragons, and Black Demons. They also want to add some additional monster spawns around the map. This would include blue and baby blue dragons in Tavley Dungeon, red dragons in Brimhaven Dungeon, black demons in Tavley Dungeon, and baby green dragons in the wilderness of Edgeville Dungeon, which means that the green dragons will still be wilderness only dragons. Previously I thought the fact that they were adding baby green dragons meant that they're not going to be wilderness creatures anymore. Next, they want to add some drop table improvements. They've had various requests to make improvements to existing Slayer monsters drop tables in order to keep them rewarding. So they've just offered some minor changes to Dark Beasts and Spiritual Mages. Dark Beasts will be slightly buffed, with some slightly less useful items on the drop table being replaced with some more valuable items, commonly found on generic monster drop tables. And Spiritual Mages will have a slight increase in the amount of runes and essence that they drop. However, the contents of the drop table itself won't change. And finally, some Slayer assignment refactoring. Lastly, they'd like to rework the current assignment list that Slayer Masters use to select tasks. As it stands, the chance of receiving each monster as a Slayer assignment differs from monster to monster, and some of the requirements on receiving certain tasks, such as 110 combat to be assigned Dark Beasts, have been requested to be removed. So they're offering to completely rewrite the task selection system for each Slayer Master, with more sensible requirements, and an equal chance of selecting each available task. It isn't possible to be very specific with this rework at this stage, but should it pass, it will be done in such a way that it has a minimal impact on overall Slayer experience per hour. So there we have it, that's the updated Slayer developer blog. There's a few small things, such as the change from 100 herbs to 30 herbs on the herb bag. I think that's much more reasonable. However, I'm questioning the fact that this herb bag costs 750 points, which is a lot more than things such as the Slayer helmet. I know a lot of high level Slayers do have a lot of points, and it is a very useful item, but I'm just questioning why it's so much. And we've received a lot more information on the drops that we're getting from the Abyssal Sire. I think this Slayer expansion will be great, and I hope a lot of this passes. If you've got any feedback for the Old School RuneScape team, make sure you leave on the forums, and if you want to discuss it with me, please leave it in the comments below. If you want to watch the latest month ahead post, please click here for June, where we discuss things such as this developer blog and resizable mode. And if you want to watch the latest post from the Old School RuneScape team, please click here for the RuneScape competitive tournament. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to keep up to date with the Old School RuneScape updates, DevBlogs and polls, please subscribe. I've been Lewis, thanks for watching, goodbye.